if they continually go back and forth like this and they don't actually group up all together, we should be able to try to prevent them. Oh dear. Hello and welcome back to our Sturgian Viking, and we're going to be attempting to persuade Mr. Urgion here. Now I'm going to be relying on you specifically to let me know if I have gone over the amount of charm that I can do. So for example, this is the first guy that we are most likely, I'm saying this most likely because, as you can no doubt tell from the 100% chance here, I have no idea what has actually happened because, as I said in a previous episode, before we were getting literally like 15% chance and all that stuff, and now all of a sudden we are getting 100% chances, and it is absolutely crazy. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. This is the first one. We have a limit of 10 that is obviously self-imposed by me, but look, what is actually going on here? What is this? I really have no clue, because as I said before, I haven't changed anything about my loadout, my mod loadout or anything like that. Let's try this. A 60% chance. Yes, we actually were able to do it, and he is going to have a bit of a problem in indeed joining us. So, oh. Well, he doesn't care about Brigand, apparently, so yes, okay, never mind. Okay, scratch that. This is not the first one we will be able to persuade then, by the looks of things, and I will now be attacking him instead. Yes, yes, I was so hopeful, so hopeful, because if he had actually joined us, he would have brought over some pretty decent fiefs as far as I'm aware. I believe that Urgion actually does have... I think he has, what does he have? Sionen or something? I actually have no idea. We should probably take a look at the encyclopedia, encyclopedia after this, if I could speak, and then we will maybe find out whether he indeed does have something really, really good. I think he does, and that's probably the reason why he's being a little bit stubborn in regards to joining a different faction, especially considering the Botanians are pretty much on an even keel with us at the moment, although I haven't checked their combat strength in quite some time, so it could have changed. Alright, so we're now encroaching upon the enemy's encampment, and they're, well, not really doing too much. Yeah, they seem to be a little bit stubborn about this, and, well, that is to be expected considering Urgion himself is a very stubborn fellow indeed. If he hadn't been, and if he had actually joined us, I would have been very pleased. Very, very pleased. Oh, get him. Oh, are you serious? I can't believe I missed that. I actually thought that was a guaranteed hit right there, but apparently not. Okay, so the enemy is now coming in. Let's just get my archers to be a little bit in better positions. This is going to be a bit problematic, I think, maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's just tell everyone to charge in, with the exception of the archers, of course, and then hopefully the various people that get through our lines will get shot by our archers. Okay, here we go, here we go. Not too bad. Let's kill that guy. They've got a lot of volunteers. As I've said before, volunteers actually do come equipped with some pretty decent gear, so we have to be a bit wary of them. They can do a lot of damage. They are easy to kill, of course, but their damage output is something to be a little bit worried about. Especially these guys, the Falksmen. Oh, don't even... Ooh... Don't even remind me about those guys. Ugh, they grind my gears like no one's business. Anyway, seems like we're actually okay here. Seems like we will be absolutely fine. We've lost 3 units at all, and that's it. And that is indeed a victory. Oh, I was hopeful for a nice jump and slash there, but no. Ooh, there we go. We get to take 10,000 gold from him, and we are also going to be taking him prisoner and preventing him from running around and actually being useful, because he's actually one of the more powerful vassals, as we no doubt saw. He had about 140 or so units. Let's take a look at his encyclopedia entry real fast and see exactly what he is the owner of. I think we need to look at the clan. No, yes, he owns Dunglanis. That is exactly the reason why he was a little bit stubborn about things. Yes, so he owns Dunglanis and also Aster Castle. Where is Aster? Ah, there it is, very close by to Dunglanis, of course. That is to be expected. So that would have been probably pretty bad, actually. That would have been a pretty bad thing for us to gain, but it would have enabled us to have a little bit of pressure lifted off of us. Ooh, I would like to be able to speak to this guy. He is the owner of Sionen. This would be very, very nice. Where is he? He was last seen near Andern. and he owns that. So I would assume that that's relatively close by to Sionen. Yes, there it is. Okay. So that's what we're going to try to do. Anytime we can speak to someone and try to persuade them, I'll try to do that. But obviously it's a little bit, well, it's a little bit dicey sometimes. Some of the conversation options are a done deal, literally like 100%, and some of them seem to be a little bit dicey, like 60%, 20%, and so on. So it's a bit weird. Anyway, let's go to the kingdom screen real quick. Oh, peace with Britannia? Oh. Can I say no? No, I can't say no, as you can quite clearly tell. This is pretty awful. Okay, I guess what I'll do is I'll literally spend 100 influence and just gain a huge amount of relation with Mr. Raganvad here. Yeah, there you go, 3 skill points with charm. I know someone actually did mention in the comments that what you can do is you can trade people 1 gold and then you get charm skill for that. I have done that in the past, but as far as I'm aware, that was fixed. It is no longer a method of gaining charm skill easily. So maybe it's still there, but I don't think so, because I have tried it in the past and it doesn't seem to work. So thank you for letting me know at least, but as I've said, I have tried it and it hasn't really made any difference whatsoever. So it's kind of unfortunate, but you know, bit of an exploit, I suppose. Anyway, we are not actually at war against anyone. We're not at war against anyone any further, so I actually have no idea where I should head next, but I am going to sell a couple of things here and there, and I think we're probably going to be making war relatively soon. Let's just assume that we're going to be attacking the Northern Empire next. Alright, so as expected, the Northern Empire has now been declared war against, and well, I'm waiting for a couple of people to come and help me here with this siege. I'm very much hoping that we will be able to take Mekalovia Castle, and then hopefully launch an attack against Epicrotia itself. If we can do that, that's going to be fantastic. Obviously, it really depends on, well, so many different factors. We really need to make sure that we do not get attacked by an extremely large army, because if that happens, then we're probably going to be in a very bad situation indeed. I am almost to 150 trade skill. If you've been taking note, or at least noticing the date at the bottom, you'll see that it's been a pretty significant amount of time since you saw the land, you know, beforehand, because obviously we had a lot of time to just kind of wait around, and I've been running around fighting looters in Sturgian territory, trying to maximize the amount of relation gain that I can get with the various villages and the various notables in the area, as well as, of course, trying to do a little bit of trading. I've actually done a little bit of trading. It hasn't really resulted in a huge amount of profit gain or anything like that, but I've just kind of been trying to suss out the market a little bit and just see exactly what's going on. But yeah, as I say, we're almost at 150. Oh, look at that. We actually got 25 engineering. Can you believe it? Oh yeah, that's going to really not help me at all, because engineering traits are not implemented yet, amazingly enough. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. Who knows, by the way, I do actually have a perk mod. I'm not entirely sure if that fixes any of the perks that are not currently implemented according to bannerlordperks.com, so it really could very well be that I do have these things working. It just might be that I'm not aware of it at the moment. Anyway, these are governor traits. This basically means nothing at all to me. I will take workshop production if it actually does help me. For some reason, I doubt it does. I really doubt it does. But otherwise, I have called for an army here. It cost me about 80 influence to be able to call for this army. It's a pretty significant one as well, which I'm very pleased about. And as you can see, the walls are basically almost down, which is amazing, considering my trebuchets are absolutely chunking the opponents. And I'm very surprised. Okay, let's lead an assault, and maybe I should have built a siege tower or so. Maybe 1 or 2 of those might have made a bit of sense, but you know what? Nah. I think we're pretty good the way we are right now. And let's see what happens. All right, so trebuchets obviously are a little bit, in my opinion, they're quite difficult to use. Should I try using one? Do I have any ammunition right now? I'm actually not entirely sure. I do. Let's see where it goes. Is it going to hit anyone? You know what? I think this is way too intricate for me. I feel like the trebuchet is just... Oh, you need to be so incredibly precise. I don't think that's ever going to happen for me, unfortunately. So it's just way too far away. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like what needs to be done with siege equipment is if the developers of Bannerlord, or if any modders or whatever the case may be, or whoever it might be that wants to take up the task of doing this, I think an overhead view of where the siege weapon is going to attack. Obviously, that's not realistic at all. You know, I'm not talking about realism here. I'm just talking about usability. But what I'd like to see is an overhead view with kind of maybe like an estimate, shall we say, of where the siege equipment is actually going to attack. Because as it stands right now, it's basically impossible to know exactly where enemies are or where you're firing or anything like that. It is pretty much impossible without any kind of guideline, and just to increase the usability and indeed the enjoyment factor from using siege equipment, it might be quite nice to have a small estimate of that. But obviously, that is really just my own opinion. If you don't like that, then that's absolutely fine, because they're probably not going to do anything about it, so, you know. But I think that in general, using siege equipment is a lot of fun. I know I've had a lot of fun with it in the past, and it would be very cool if we could use it more often, you know? I mean, the fire onagers I actually think are probably the most fun, but they are very difficult to use even so. But otherwise, I think that is pretty much it. We're done. And there is Mokolovia Castle taken. Just that quick. Ratagost. Are you serious? It feels, you know, it feels to me like every single battle I have, whenever I call for an army, no matter where it is or who we're against, or whether we're fighting one looter, it feels to me like every single time that happens, we lose someone. And I don't know why that is. I think that the calculations are either super imbalanced or something is happening, because I'm losing basically a vassal every single time we go in to a fight like this. Anyway, Disciplinarian. Yes, I finally have Disciplinarian. Great. That means that I'll be able to go back over to Mazhadan Castle and hopefully pull out a couple of my previously known as bandit units and actually advance them into noble units, which is exactly what I've wanted to do for such a long period of time. So hopefully we'll be able to get that going. Otherwise, let's get some trebuchets up and running here. It's going to take me a lot of time to get them constructed, but as you can no doubt tell, our combat strength is in our favor, which I'm very surprised about. Now, here's the thing. I don't know whether we're going to be able to continue this siege here, but I would like to do a little bit of damage to the walls at least. This might be a good castle for me to take, to be honest, because it is very close to my other castles, and you know what? This is actually a very good castle for me to take, because if I take this castle, it's going to give me claiming rights over Epicrotia itself, potentially. So we can manipulate this a little bit to maybe give us a small advantage in the future. So I'm going to spend 60 influence on this just to kind of make sure, potentially, that I get this, and I am indeed getting it. So that's great. That is a very nice little foundation that we've built up there, and hopefully we'll be able to get Epicrotia as well. If we can get Epicrotia as well, that is going to create a vacuum effect around this area here, where I can pretty much, in my opinion at least, with improved garrisons, I can pretty much get a patrol to come out here and maybe lock the whole area down. Just basically make it so that no one can go by here without being attacked. Vashorki. I don't like Vashorki at all, actually, so I'm just literally going to say that Oleg should get it. because I don't know where Varagos Castle is, and I don't know whether I can stretch myself so thinly that I have to, you know, defend Varagos Castle and Mekalovia Castle. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Oh dear, someone else has died in childbirth. It seems like everyone is just dying around me like no one's business. I mean, that's what it was like in medieval times, you know. A lot of people never even got over the age of 25. So it's, yes, it is a very morbid thing indeed for us to continually see a lot of people just continually die again and again. Okay, so this is problematic as well. Don't know whether you can notice why. Alright, let's have a look. Gifor's army. Oh, yeah. This might be problematic. How many volunteers do we have? Only 54. That's not too bad, but most of our units are pretty low tier. Let's get all my trebuchets out and about and get them bombarding the walls. If they continually go back and forth like this and they don't actually group up all together, we should be able to try to prevent them. Oh dear. I'm not sure what we can do. No. Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna have to... Who am I going to speak to here? Olerun? Yeah, are you the leader? Okay, let's have a look. That's a lot of money. Okay, I'm going to try to get away here. Right. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, yes, okay. This is actually pretty good. Oh, perfect. Okay, come on now. Am I still disorganized? Yes, I am still a little bit disorganized, but I think we're okay now. Whew. Okay, that was very, very close. We could have literally died right there. No problem at all. Ah, I really wanted to take Epicrotia. Super badly wanted to take that. And that, dear friends, is exactly the reason why you cannot be blinded by greed. In that regard, I definitely got blinded by the shining lights of Epicrotia and the amount of money that we could have potentially gained from a smithy there. That would have been really nice. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to basically wait in here now, and we have a whole bunch of people in here too. So let's just wait in here. They're probably going to attack us. Are they? I'm actually really surprised that they're after us so incredibly dramatically here. Yeah, these guys are now going to run away. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so let's disband the army now. We don't need them any further, I suppose, and I'll be doing a little bit of managing. So let's provide a couple of things here. Alright, so this guy was actually attempting to actually raid one of our villages, and I can't have that, thank you very much. I cannot have that whatsoever. So obviously we're not with any of our other vassals now or anything like that, so we're just going to try and fight back against the Northern Empire as much as we possibly can by ourselves. And you can see here that we're actually in the village. Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, so let me get a nice shield wall formation going on here, nice little loose formation for our archers, and put them on the hilltop here, or at least get them the highest bit of advantage that they can possibly get. And they have 44 archers. Oh yes, wait a minute. We're actually up against the Karakurgit, aren't we? Yes, Karakurgit are going to be very difficult for us to deal with because they are primarily horse archers, and we are primarily infantry. Yes, this is going to be kind of bad. But we'll see how we do. Maybe we'll do alright. Maybe we'll surprise ourselves. Get him! Get him! Yes, yes, a little bit of damage. Oh, Vlandian? Vlandian? Are you serious? Okay, interesting. Ah, a lot of mercenaries. Vlandians? Oh, weird. I'm actually kind of surprised about this. I wouldn't have expected him to use Vlandian units, but apparently he is. I'm just going to try to get in there as much as I possibly can, try to do as much damage, and hopefully get some decent one-handed weapon proficiency, because let's face it, I really need it. Oh, hello, there's a lot of archers. Ooh, that was a sharpshooter. Alright, so I think we're pretty good. The only thing we got to do is, well, just win against the last remaining horse archers. It's easier said than done, though, of course. And there it is, victory. 90 renown? 90? What? 90 renown and 58 influence? What? That is absolutely crazy. Okay, happy with that, happy with that. Anyway, we can indeed take the prisoners if we want to, but I think I'm actually just going to leave them for now because I would like to stay relatively fast on our feet at the moment because there is another raid going on at Mazhadan Castle and at Foreign as well, so it would be nice if we could potentially get both of those eliminated. As you can see, Oloran himself... Wait a minute. Oh, the Karakurjit are being so annoying now, aren't they? Yes, they are being extremely irritating. Okay, let me actually just take a quick look at our traits here real quick. Ah, yes. We finally reached 75 one-handed weapon proficiency. Alright, so let's have a look. Reduces the effect of wielding a shield on your combat movement speed. Infantry troops in the formation you're leading increase their movement speed by 5%. Or, while mounted, your one-handed weapon damage is increased by 5%. Okay, so... Maybe a slightly controversial opinion here. I personally think that this trait is completely 100% pointless. Because for me, specifically, I can never use one-handed weapons on horseback. I think that you must use a spear or a polearm or a two-handed or something along those lines, something with additional reach. I think it is basically impossible to use a one-handed while you're mounted. So that is just my own personal experience that I've had. Maybe it's different for you, maybe it's different for other people, who knows, but I personally feel like this is absolutely useless, so I'm going to be taking Shield Bearer 100% every single time, and we're also going to now be attacking this guy, because he is definitely going to be someone we want to murder as much as we possibly can. We want to try and weaken the Karakurjit minor faction as much as possible, just purely for the fact that they are very, very fast. And they're going to be very difficult for our vassals to deal with. So if we can eliminate them, then we will provide a much better environment for our own friendly vassals to fight back. And I don't know whether you noticed, but the Sturgians were actually gaining a decent amount of combat strength in our small amount of time fighting against the Botanians, because we had such a positive outcome from the various battles we had with the Botanians. We actually were beating them back and doing so in a very, very reinforced, sort of strong survival-esque way in comparison to, well, previous playthroughs where the Sturgians basically just made all the wrong decisions almost every single time and got themselves murdered first. So it seems like in this particular series, because we're actually helping them very actively, the Sturgians might survive, and the Botanians might very well be the first faction that gets eliminated. But we'll see what happens. Oh, so many horse archers, look at that. They're all just running all over the place there. We're actually fighting in a very bright time of day as well, which is quite cool. Let's get my two-handed axe out. I feel like some two-handed. Yeah, get him. Get them. There we go. Oh, come on now. Yes, there we are. A little bit of extra damage. I'm not chopping down wood, though. Thank you very much. I don't really want to hit that tree again. Seems like I need to just run normally. My athletics skill doesn't feel that fast, but whenever I run like this through the trees, it does actually seem pretty swift. Oh, it seems like the enemies are all trying to run away now. Oh well, I guess it's better that they run away than them getting killed, of course, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of extra experience for my two-handed. Well, we can't have it all, can we? Can't have it all. Alright, well, there you go. And Iceni has now finally leveled up, and as a result, we will probably be speccing into something like engineering. Are we going to spec in engineering? I think so. I mean, here's the thing. Speccing into engineering for traits is basically pointless, unless, as I say, my trait perk mod actually does add something back into the game, but I don't know whether that actually is the case. But the main reason why we want to spec into engineering is so that we can just create trebuchets just that much faster, because if we'd been able to do that, we might have been able to even complete our siege at Epicrotia. So I'm going to just go for a little bit more intelligence there. It's also going to help our medicine skill to level up a little bit faster as well, so I guess that's okay. And otherwise, we can now move on, and hopefully we'll be able to make it over to foreign. Yeah, there we go. Get him! Get him, Yachana! Get him! Yes, perfect. Okay, let's just do an auto-resolve against this guy. It's going to be a super easy fight. And there you go. 40 renown. Let's take him prisoner too. And I will be taking all the prisoners of this one because I think we have destroyed all of the interlopers parties and we shouldn't have to worry about anyone else. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, is this... Oh, Phaedon is actually here. Phaedon, hello. Oh, yes, you are going to get murdered, sir. Thank you very much. Is he the leader, by the way? No, Penton is the leader of his faction. Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, the leader of his clan, shall we say. And look at that, Black Widow. The Black Widow clan has advanced to tier 5. That's nice to see. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to let this guy go for a very specific reason. I want to try and get some relation with him and with the friends that he knows, because Penton is actually one of the better vassals that we might be able to persuade to join us. All right, so I think with that, we've made some pretty good inroads to try and take Ebocrotia. It is pretty much the only outlying fief in this area, so I think we have a very good chance of being able to take it. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. Otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.